Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have something very important to talk about. A powerful statement from Peter Obi on Arise News. He said, and I quote, "There is no democracy today in Nigeria." That is a strong claim and it raised big questions. Is Nigeria really not a democracy anymore? What does Obi mean by that? And what does it mean for all of us, Nigerians, and everyone watching? Stick with me till the end because we will break down this statement, explore what is happening in Nigeria today and why this matters to you. Plus, I will show you some key parts of the Obi interview so you can hear directly from him. Make sure you like this video, subscribe and share it with friends because this is a conversation we all need to join.
I also want to know your take on this state of emergency thing, Governor Fubara, and the fact that a lot of people are saying there's been state capture, democracy is waning, and the likes, and the courts, and other sundry issues.
Let me tell you, Rufai, as far as I'm concerned, I maintain it. There's no democracy today in Nigeria.
So what are we practicing? So why are you running the 2027 elections if there's no democracy?
We will continue to be agitating for true democracy. Rufai, being an election in Edo, does this show any sign of being a democratic country? Capital, no. Rufai, the coffin was nailed by what happened in River State. You cannot, on any circumstances, solve a problem in a democratic setting by going against the rules. You can't even solve any problem by going against the rules. There's a process.
President Tinubu went against the rules in River States?
Of course, there's a process there's a process. What did you do? You actually say it's undemocratic. When you go and bring somebody that is not elected, that doesn't follow, there was a process.
But a lot of people too will remind you too, you didn't hold local government election when you were in Anambra States. It's easy to point at Tinubu now, but what about you?
I'm not pointing at them. I'm just telling you, I can tell you, go and check the court process in Anambra State. I was in court for years against conducting an election because people thought if I conducted it, I would do what everybody's doing. So it took me almost 7 years before we could conduct. I governed one of the virtually the most difficult states at the time he had crisis. If there's nothing I did in Anambra State that people are proud of today, I brought stability and order in Anambra State. Before me, nobody who was governor in Anambra State had what you can call a peaceful reign. But in Nigeria, it was quarrel for 4 years. Ngige was quarrel until he left after 3 years. It was under me that things started changing. Because of the same way I've managed things, started changing, and I started becoming something. I even changed it from being home for all to light of the nation. I started doing things in an organized manner. Rufai, I was the first person in old and new Anambra State to be governor twice. So I started organizing things properly. So it is easy to sit there and say, oh, he did this. But the reality of it is, Rufai, come, let's visit the state. I live there. That's where I live. And when I'm there, I'm at home. It's the only place I am. There's nobody who will tell you today, this Peter Obi's house in Abuja, this Peter Obi's house in Lagos, this Peter Obi's house. I live in Anambra State. In Lagos, I live in a rented apartment. In Abuja, most times I stay in the hotel. So, but I have a home in Onitsha where I go back and I'm always there. So you can come walk the street, no security, and I invite you.
Okay. All right, now that you have heard what Peter Obi said, let's dig deeper. When Obi said there is no democracy today in Nigeria, he is not just saying it for shock value. He is talking about some real problem in the country's political system. One, what is democracy? Before we understand what Obi means, let's quickly remind ourselves, what is democracy? Democracy is a system where the people have the power. It means the government is elected by the people for the people. It means free and fair elections, freedom of speech, respect for human rights, and the rule of law. If these things are missing, then democracy is weak or broken. Two, why does Obi say Nigeria has no democracy today? Peter Obi argues that Nigeria today does not have these basic ingredients. He said the government is not truly elected by the people or representing the people, which he points to problems like election issues. Many people feel elections in Nigeria are not free and fair. There are reports of rigged vote buying and violence during elections. When people don't trust elections, democracy weakens. Suppressions of voice. Obi mentioned that the government is silencing those who disagree or criticize it. In a true democracy, people must be free to speak their mind without fear or punishment. Poor governance. He criticized the government for not delivering good services like security, education, and jobs. A government that fails its people loses legitimacy. 3. What has changed over time? It is important to remember Nigeria used to be called a democracy after 1999 when military rule ended, but over the years, many citizens have lost faith in the system because of corruption, poor governance, and electoral problems. Obi believes Nigeria is sliding away from real democracy, and this is dangerous because without democracy, people lose their voice and their power. 4. What does this mean for Nigerians? If democracy is weak or missing, ordinary Nigerians suffer. When elections are unfair or stolen, it means people have no real choice in who leads them. When free speech is blocked, people cannot express their problem or demand change. When government fails to provide security, education, and job, life gets harder. Obi's message is a warning. Nigerians need to face these problems or risk even worsening challenges ahead. 5. What does this mean for the future? This is why it is important to listen and understand what Obi is saying. If Nigeria does not return to real democracy, there could be more unrest and protests, loss of trust in leaders, increased poverty and insecurity, a government that ruled by force, not by the people's consent. But it is not too late. Citizens can demand better elections, protect free speech, and hold leaders accountable. This is the power of democracy, but only if people use it. 6. What does Peter Obi propose? In his interviews and speeches, Obi has talked about the need for electoral reforms to make election fair and transparent, protection for journalists, activities, and all voices, better governance, focus on real needs of the people, unity among Nigerians beyond ethnicity and religion. He believes Nigeria can be a true democracy again, but it will take courage and commitment from both leaders and citizens. 7. The political context. Why is Obi speaking out now? Obi's statement comes at a time when many Nigerians are frustrated with the government of President Bola Tinubu. Obi and others accuse the current government of continuing past mistakes, failing to deliver on promises, and cracking down on criticism. This makes Obi's message even more powerful. It shows the growing divide in Nigeria politics and society. 8. Responses to Obi's statement. The presidency quickly responded, saying Obi's comment show he wants power for himself. But this misses the point. Obi's statement is about the system, not just about himself. Many civil society groups agree with Obi's concern about democracy. governances. This shows the debate is not just political, it is about the future of Nigeria. 9. Why you should watch till the end. Stay with me because we will break down each part of Obi's claim. I will show you facts and example to help you understand the state of democracy in Nigeria today. You will learn why it matters to you even if you live outside Nigeria, and we will explore what citizens can do to protect democracy and create better future. 10. What can you do? At the end, I will share practical ways you can help promote democracy in Nigeria. Whether you are in Nigeria or a friend of Nigeria, this conversation is important for all of us. The bigger picture, democracy in Africa, the world. Nigeria is Africa's largest democracy. So what happened here matters to the whole continent. If Nigeria struggles with democracy, it affects regional stability, economies, and international relations. Around the world, democracy is facing challenges, but citizens everywhere are standing up to protect it. Nigeria's story is part of this global fight. 12. The importance of free speech and election. Obi reminds us that democracy is not just about voting, it is about the whole system. Free speech, independent media, rule of law, and respect for all rights are all needed. Without this, even if elections happen, democracy is just a word, not reality. 13. The roles of youth and civil society. Young people and civil society groups in Nigeria have been at the forefront of demanding change. From protests to campaigns, they show the power of citizens. Obi's message supports this effort and encourage everyone to get involved. 14. Challenge to democracy. But there are real challenges: corruption, ethnic and religious divisions, security problems like bandits and terrorism, political violence, and all this make democracy harder but also more urgent to protect. 15. Hope for the future despite the challenges. There is hope. Nigeria has a strong history of democratic movements and brave leaders. With the right reforms and citizen engagement, Nigeria can restore its democracy. Obi's words are a wake-up call and a call to action. 16. Summary. What we have learned today. Peter Obi says Nigeria has no real democracy today. This is because of election problems, suppression of dissent, and poor governance. This threatens Nigeria's right and future. Citizens must demand reform, protect democracy. The debate is ongoing, important for everyone. 17. Democracy is not a gift, it is a responsibility. If we want Nigeria to be free, fair, and just, then each one of us must stand up, speak out, and act. As Peter Obi warns, if we lose democracy, we lose our future. If you found this analysis useful, please hit the like button, subscribe for more honest and clear political analysis. Share this video with friends and family because democracy depends on all of us. And comment below, what do you think about Obi's statement? Do you agree Nigeria has no democracy? Today, let's talk. Thank you for watching. Stay informed, stay engaged, and I will see you in the next video.